Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Sam's33 here, and welcome to another Pokemon TCG battle video. And today we have on the left Arielle with her Team Plasma deck, and on the right is me, of course, with my Virizion Genesect Drifblim deck. Now, I know I've done this matchup a lot, but it just so happened to pop up in a tournament, and it's a two competitive deck, so hey, why not upload it? It's good games as well. I do apologize in advance for not uploading very many of these videos recently. I just haven't really bothered. There's no particular reason why. I just haven't done it for some odd reason. Haven't been, you know, feeling right to do it. But I don't know. I'll be posting more of them now. Don't you guys worry. So yeah, as you saw in the last couple videos, uh, Virizion Genesect is not particularly great against Plasma. It does have some problems in a lot of ways. It's not exactly fast or has any kind of powerful way to take out Kyurems or anything like that, so it just kind of falls dead in its tracks. But when you add Drifblim, it's actually quite good against it. Drifblim, if the opponent has enough Plasma Pokemon in play, can attack for 0 energy, or at least the Plasma Storm one, or the Plasma Blast one can, and it'll do 70 and discard an energy attached to the defending Pokemon, which is a very, very nice attack, I must say. Very powerful, just for 0 energy. And there's one, the Dragon Exalted one does 50 damage times the number of special energy in your opponent's discard for only 1 energy, so that's another very powerful card. Both of them are very good against Plasma, and we'll see how they help in this match. I believe currently in this list I am running 4 Drifblim, 3 of the Derail Drifblim, and 1 of the Shadow Steel Drifblim. Just testing that out right now. I don't think I owned another Drifblim at the time. I also just like the Derail one a lot against this matchup. I think it's a good card that's in this against Plasma. Not per se better, but less situational than the Shadow Steel one, which costs an energy to attack, and I don't know, not the biggest fan of it, but now you're going to see Arielle didn't get a very good start. She attached to Deoxys, played Frozen City, and passed, which is not what she wants to do, obviously. She wants Kyurems and Thundurus and, actual damage, but she's not really doing anything right now. She just had a Chorus machine now, so she'll be able to attack with Deoxys. And hopefully that will be able to get her. She'll be able to deal some damage, 60 damage. It's not terrible. But if she does not draw basic, I could just kind of destroy her with Drifblims and Virizions and Genesects. And something tells me she's not going to do anything else on her turn. I'd be surprised if she did. She could see what she has in your hand. Looks like a Floatstone, another Frozen City, Prism Energy, Floatstone. Yeah. Oh, is that a Deoxys? So she's holding on to that Deoxys, which is good in 2 ways. Number one, if I play a Chorus, or if I play Chorus, I can get more cards. 2, if I play a catcher, I can bring that up, and then she'll have to use her Floatstone when she would rather not. 3, if I decide to use Drifblim, I'll need an extra energy. I'll need 2 energy to use Shadow Steel instead of 3, is because of its drifting balloon ability, which allows it to attack for 1 less energy per Plasma Pokemon your opponent has in play. So I would need energy on the Drifblim to actually use the attack. As you can see here, I have a Genesect. And by the way, that is Virizion I have in the active. If that was a little confusing about the proxies, I apologize. But hopefully those will be away and out of the fray soon. I apologize for that. As you can see here, I get a Derail Drifblim, which if I don't know if she has that Deoxys in her hand, so I'm going to have, if I want to use that attack, I'm going to have to power it up, which I would rather not do. I would rather power up Genesect. It looks like I am going to power up the Drifblim. I'm going for the win here. I'm getting a little greedy, trying to kill this Deoxys and win on the next turn, but that was probably not the best idea. Even if she didn't draw, of course, if she didn't draw basic, if she didn't draw basic, that was the better idea. But I know now we know she has basic, which is really doesn't mean anything anymore. Now those energy are like totally wasted on this Drifblim, and they would have been even like they would have. I still probably would have destroyed her anyway with Genesect in this situation. So it really was just a bad move overall. She's gonna play Deoxys and N, so Hopefully now she can get something going. Maybe a Thundurus or Kyurem or something. Something to do actual damage. I mean, this doesn't actually do that bad damage right now. It's dealing enough to knock out this Virizion because of that Frozen City she played, which was it's not a stadium people play that often. Frozen City. Most people will just like to have the space in Plasma with where those Frozen City spots would be. Like you can use those for silver bangles and catchers and chorus machines and more supporters and stuff like that. Even more basic energy. But Arielle's opting to play it, and it did help her out a lot. And Frozen City's actually gotten a little bit of play recently. It did well at the first regionals in California, where a Darkrai player used it in their deck, which was a very interesting move. And it looks like Arielle didn't really get much of interest. She got a Plasma Energy to attach to her Deoxys, but really not much else she can do. Now it looks like she's just going to Helix Force and knock out Virizion. And I'm going to send out this big bad Drifblim. Takes care of some business. So yeah, Drifblim is something scary for her, because obviously Deoxys is weak to Psychic, so Drifblim will be able to do a lot of damage against it. I'm setting up another Drifblim on the bench with that Drifloon. That is going to be a pain for her if I get a second one set up. And the thing is, she doesn't run laser, I know that. So she cannot actually knock out this Drifblim in one hit. Unless she has an Absol, because Drifblim is in fact weak to Psychic, which is bad for, not Psychic, it's weak to Dark. So if she has an Absol, they'll be able to knock me out. Looks like I'm just going to derail and knock it out. So unless she has that Absol, I think she does have it in her hand, but unless she can power it up, she cannot knock me out. No, that's a Kyurem. My apologies. The reverse hollow Kyurem is a really dark shade. It's kind of hard to tell. And there's a little glare. I apologize for the glare, but that's not something I can really fix, which I apologize for. But anyway, now she's just going to Ultra Ball, hopefully get some kind of attacker going. Let's see what you can get with this. Looks like a Keldeo EX. I've said this multiple times, but I do not like benching Keldeo in this matchup because of its grass weakness. It is very easy to knock out with a Megalo Cannon and to take 2 easy prizes. But that's mostly for the straight grass version. With the Drifblim version, you're already under a lot of pressure no matter what. If they're using the Shadow Steel Drifblim, you're already gonna be under pressure getting your Pokemon knocked out in one hit no matter what. So Keldeo might be a nice diversion for her to distract me from her main attackers. If I do get the Shadow Steel one set up, as I said earlier, I do run only one Shadow Steel Drifblim, which is not usually what you want to do. I honestly think that was a poor move. I should have ran 2 and 2, but I decided to run 3 and 1. And oh, by the way, this was in a tournament, and I think we were both 2 and 0 at this point. I think we were the only 2 and 0s. There might have been I think there was a 2-0 fighting a 1 and 1. They got down paired. So we were the only straight 2 and 0 match. And let's see. I believe Arielle's using a Chorus machine right now, or she's searching her deck for a Plasma Energy. And let's see where she can put this. She can put this on the Kyurem. And that is probably not. That's an alright move. It does it will do 50 to this Drifblim and then 30 to something else, probably the other Drifloon, which is probably doesn't really get her too far, and I also be able to discard if she attaches to it, I'll just discard the colored energy, and she will have to attach again. She'd probably want to get a Thundurus out if she could right now. That's the best, other than Absol, that's the best way to deal with Drifblim for this deck, because it helps you recycle energy, power up other attackers, and with 2 Rated Knuckles, you can usually knock out a Drifblim. So, I believe she already used a supporter. I could be totally wrong there. I don't know if she used a supporter. I think she must have. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure she did. Looks like she's played a lot of stuff this turn. Now she's going to play a computer search, probably to get an energy to attach to either her Thundurus or her Kyurem. Probably her Thundurus. Since she just benched it, I would think if she was going to use the Kyurem, she wouldn't have benched the Thundurus at all. It looks like she's going for the blend energy, which I think was a given at that point. But let's see where she puts it. I think, again, going for the Thundurus would be better. She can accelerate energy onto that Kyurem, and I'll need a catcher if I want to stop that from getting powered up. And Kyurem is really her only way to deal with this right now. She can just catch her around this Drifblim and knock out 2 EXs on the bench if she can power up enough of those. But if she does that, then I'll just be able to derail all her energy away, which is a problem for her. Honestly, dealing with Drifblim is a hard thing to do for the Plasma player. It only gives up 1 prize, but it has a lot of HP and a difficult weakness to use for you. So there's really, you just kind of have to hit it twice with Raiden Knuckles, because if you're, Blizzard Burn would be good if you could ever power that up, but it's also, if you have that much resource, you're probably not going to have that much resources out, because Drifblim will almost definitely discard the energy on a Kyurem, as you see now. I have the catcher to bring up the Kyurem, and I'm going to use Derail and discard the energy on the Kyurem, which would just ruins her plan right now. And I also tool scrapped with the Floatstone that was on Keldeo. So she's going to need another Floatstone or a switch to get her to her Thundurus again. And yeah, this is just the problem with Drifblim, is that it really is hard to deal with. Again, you have to either hit it twice or just deal with it for a while and knock out EXs, which is usually not going to happen. It's just going to keep coming out. It has free retreat. Everything in this deck has 1 retreat, except for the Drifloon. As you see, I am playing the 70 HP Drifblim, which I said I did not like very much in the past, but it's not terrible. I mean, if you just evolve it to something, you're going to evolve it soon anyway, so it's not a big deal. And in this list, currently I'm not playing Sky Arrow Bridge, so it won't be too effective. I mean, I won't have to deal with retreating it ever. I would like this free retreat with Sky Arrow Bridge on the 60 HP one, but since I can't get that free retreat, I probably wouldn't manually retreat it at any point anyway. So, yeah. This list I'm playing right now, I believe, has no tricks other than just a 4/4 Drifblim line. It has no Colress machines, nothing like that. I do play 1 Plasma Frigate in this list. I believe it was simply to counteract, there's a player in our league who has Victini EX, which is a deadly, deadly card for me. So I just wanted to deal with that with the Plasma Frigate, which is actually a good card against Victini EX. You can prevent your Pokemon from getting one-shot. As you see in Arielle's hand, she now has a basic water energy. If she can use that basic water, she can be in a good position. I will not be able to discard that. She'll simply be able to power up a Kyurem again. Basic energy are a big problem as well. That's the one thing Plasma has against Drifblim, is that basic energy. If you can get that out on a Pokemon or on a Kyurem, you can simply keep. There's no way they can discard it. So basically, it's just there, and you can probably power up a Blizzard Burn afterwards, and knock out the Drifblim. But you will need another Colress machine. I believe she's played like 2 Colress machine and 3 Plasma energy. So she's going to have to draw her. I assume it's her last Colress machine. She could run 4 Colress machine and another energy if I do have the resources to get that energy. Either if I draw an Enhanced Hammer or another Drifblim and a catcher. Looks like I have an Ultra Ball in my hand. And there's another Drifloon. Yeah, it is hard to stop this train of Drifblims from happening. It just keeps coming. I think that's an Ultra Ball. Yeah, it's an Ultra Ball in my hand. I believe it's a Genesect I discarded with it. 1 Proxy Genesect in my deck, and the rest are all real. It looks like I'm going for the Derail Drifblim again. My Shadow Steel one, I think, might be prized, which is a problem, because I need that to clean up the game at some point. Well, I don't need it, but it's better than using G-Booster to clean up the game, which is not ever a good idea. It's not always a bad idea, but it's much less consistent than using the Shadow Steel one, which does massive amounts of damage for 1 energy. As you can see here, I do have the Drifblim and I do have the catcher to bring out the Kyurem, so now she's going to need another colored energy. Or if I get an Enhanced Hammer, she's going to need 2 energy, or an energy and a Colress machine to actually power this thing up. So it looks like I'm in a good position. And even if she does knock out the Drifblim, she still has to take 2 more prizes on an EX, probably without a Kyurem, because her other Kyurem is already damaged. So if she ever tries to power that up, I'll just be able to knock it out with a Genesect most likely. And yeah, for me, I'm just going to use Virizion and discard the Blend Eye. So yeah, all she needs is a colored energy now, and she can knock out my Drifblim. Now 4 cards, I wouldn't be surprised if she did get a Blend Energy. Be able to use that on the Kyurem to knock out my Drifblim, and now I'll need another Drifblim if I want to knock out this Kyurem, because I did not draw an energy off of that. And she's I either need a Drifblim or at least a Grass Energy to power up. Looks like I sent up the Drifloon. That means Drifblim's coming. You guys better watch out, because Drifblim is coming, killing those Kyurems all day. And excuse me, what happened to the Thundurus? It just appears to be a Blend Energy sitting there. I think someone took it and looked at it. Oh my gosh, there is my 4th Drifloon. That is ridiculous how I drew all those Drifblims, or the Drifloons whenever I needed them. I just cannot stop drawing these things. Oh, by the way, I should mention that this is a best of 3 series, so we'll be playing 3 games here. So even though it looks like I am behind on prizes, I think I'm actually in a better position. I'm going to knock out this Kyurem, and she'll have... All she'll have left is that Kyurem with 70 damage, and then the Thundurus, and she really won't have... If I can just draw a catcher and knock out the... Or even a Plasma Energy to use Red Signal, and knock out the harder Kyurem, then she'll have no source of power, and then I'll probably either use the Shadow Steel Drifblim or a G-Booster to knock out an EX for the game. Or I could even use a catcher and bring up her Keldeo EX and knock it out with Megalo Cannon. And yeah, it looks like here I'm just going to use Derail and knock out the Kyurem, but she's looking through my discard, so she'll have to... she'll do that. She'll discard a Kyurem after I knocked it out. And looks like she drew her card before putting her Pokemon in the discard, which is technically not allowed, but I don't particularly mind because I know there isn't really much. There isn't too much of a decision to make. I mean, you could make a decision. There could be a difference of which one you want to use, but I don't. Again, it's just a fun game. I mean, it is a tournament, but I don't particularly care if she gains that advantage. And now Arielle doesn't really have an option. She's just gonna have to either use Raiden Knuckle or Frost Spear. Frost Spear won't really help her much. I know she doesn't run Scramble Switch because she used Computer Search earlier, so she's going to have to power up the Kyurem and hope I don't knock it out. If she can power up that Kyurem and then knock out one of my EXs, then she'll be able to win. If I just can't draw a catcher or an enhanced hammer she won't even need an enhanced hammer, or I won't even need it. I can't counteract it with enhanced hammer because she probably is going to put her basic water energy on the Kyurem, and then all she needs is a catcher to knock out that either the Genesect or the Virizion on the bench for game. Because no, she also needs a Silver Bangle, so she does need a few things to actually power up this Kyurem. But it's definitely possible if she can just draw a supporter for once. I don't think she has much in her hand. I believe it's just trainers. What is that stuff? Looks like there's a Thundurus. There's a Prism Energy. That's gonna be useful. Deoxys, Floatstone, Tool Scrapper. Not really useful cards. The Floatstone might be useful, but the other two definitely not. And looks like she's putting the Prism Energy on Thundurus, probably preparing to knock out my Drifblim. She's gonna use Raiden Knuckle. Probably put the Water Energy on the Kyurem. Or no, what is she going for? Is she going for a Thundurus Noise? Plasma Energy? I don't know what she's going for with this. She's going to put... What is she going for? I'm not sure. She's going to put the Blend Energy on the Kyurem, which is quite curious. She has the basic Water Energy. She just didn't put it on the Kyurem. If she did put that basic water on there, then I wouldn't be able to use an enhanced hammer or derail to actually derail would knock it out anyway, but I wouldn't be able to use an enhanced hammer to get rid of it. I believe I have one enhanced hammer left. I think I used one already. I saw when Arielle looked through my discard that I have one gone at least. So putting that, I don't see why she wouldn't put the basic water on there. There's nothing else to use basic water on, and it's in the discard already, so you might as well just put it on the Kyurem. If it gets discarded, well, you can just recycle it again. It looks like here I'm going to use a Shadow Triad. I can see what I'm going to get with this. Yes, exactly what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a Plasma Energy, and that will allow me to attach it to a Genesect and use Red Signal to bring up the Kyurem and use Derail on it, which is one of the lovely things about Shadow Triad is being able to get that Plasma Energy, both an energy card and a Pokemon catcher if you put it on Genesect. So Shadow Triad is honestly an underrated card in this deck. I think it has more uses besides just just getting back G Booster. It is useful for Genesect and Plasma Energy, mostly Plasma Energy. Incredibly useful for getting those back, in my opinion. And let's see what I'm going to do here. I can either, looks like I'm debating retreating. What am I doing here? I believe I have the Drifblim in my hand. Oh, I have a switch. I think all I was trying to do there was get rid of that switch because I just don't want it anymore. It's a really useless card in this situation. I do have that Drifloon on the bench, which has 2 retreat, but I think I already had a switch in my hand, or I think I have 3 switches in my deck, so I think I have all 3 of them left. So having to discard one really doesn't matter. If I need one, she's not going to be able to stall out for that long. She's only going to be able to use Radiant Knuckle twice on it before it just gets knocked out. Or I can just draw a Drifblim and retreat it. No, actually, I think I'm out of the free retreat Drifblims. But I really think I just don't want that on my deck. I'd rather draw Skylar or G-Booster or something, or the Shadow Steel Drifblim. In this situation, the switch is not something that's on my mind right now. As you can see, I did put out that Plasma Frigate, which is totally useless in this matchup. But honestly, it's probably a bad thing to have out there because, of course, she can use the Plasma Frigate effect as well, which is if you have a Plasma Energy attached to one of your Pokemon, they no longer have a weakness. Which the only use for it I could see, it doesn't have to be a Plasma Pokemon it's attached to, so I could put it on my Drifblim and have it survive an attack from Absol, but I don't actually think she runs Absol. She might. I would guess no. I don't think I've seen it from her. At least in recent times. At least when this video was recorded, which was like a week ago. Yeah, again, sorry for the delay in these. And she's going to play a Colress, so let's see what she can get from this. She has no room on her bench for a Kyurem. I believe she has 5 of them out there. So I think she has to go for a Thundurus, or she's going to have to power up a Genesect, not Genesect, a Thundurus. Yeah, she's going to use Radiant Knuckle, I think. Yeah, she's Radiant Knuckle, put it on the Thundurus, and that will knock out the Drifblim. Or maybe, no, she attached that, of course. She Colress for 10, of course she draw an energy. But yeah, now she can use Radiant Knuckle and put a Plasma on Thundurus, because the effective Thundurus noise is, if it has a Plasma energy attached to it, it deals, what am I trying to say? It discards an energy attached to the defending Pokemon, and it also does 90 damage, plus any additional Deoxys you have on the bench, so, Thundurus Noise isn't actually a bad attack against my deck. With the Genesect has very limited energy acceleration, so if you can just discard energy, they can just, not draw anything for a while. But honestly, I think at this point it's not going to matter. All I need is 1 energy to use on Genesect. So, yeah, it's not going to... Thundurus Noise isn't going to do anything deadly other than just do damage. And it looks like here, yep, that's a G-Booster, and that's going to be game. I'm just going to use the attack and knock out Thundurus. I also do a Skyla. And I'm showing Arielle all the outs I had in my deck. With his Shadow Steel Drifblim, a Catcher, Ultra Ball. So it looks like the Shadow Steel one wasn't prized. As you can see, I do have the promo Shadow Steel Drifblim, which looks so much better than the Dragon's Exalted one. It's nice and hollow and nice cute little face. I think it's in front of like En's Castle. I could be wrong on that one, but it still looks very nice compared to the Dragon's Exalted one, which is just kind of a Drifblim standing in front of a forest, I think. I think that's what it is. Alright, we're on to Game 2 in this series. This is a best-of-3 series, so, oh, what was that? Looks like something happened between matches. I think it was a problem with the camera. My camera does this annoying thing where it will turn off if you unplug it. I mean, it has battery, obviously. So we'll unplug, turn off, and then turn back on. So we'll screw up everything you were trying to do, which is really annoying. It doesn't do that when you plug the cord in. So it's just kind of annoying. Oh, also, if it's not plugged into the wall, but it's plugged into the camera, it will also do that. It's just a really annoying thing about the camera. It's not a bad camera at all, but that is one issue with it that I don't like at all. So, it's Arielle's turn. Looks like she has a hand full of energy and a Colress machine. I think that was, I saw 2 blend energy, another prism. Oh, she does have an end though. Okay, she's not stranded. She just had a not a spectacular opening hand. She does have an energy Colress machine Deoxys, so she could get quite a bit of damage on the first turn. Uh, if she has a silver bangle. Okay, who's this shoving their 3DS in here? People just don't understand this. I wish people would get it through the head. Don't put things in front of a camera while it's rolling. Ugh. But yeah, back to the game. Naturally, we're both going to draw 6. And if she can draw Silver Bangle, that will add quite a bit of damage to this first turn attack, and she'll definitely be able to use a Blizzard Burn on the second turn. Or she could just, draw 3 Deoxys and a Kelio. That's nice too. So yeah, she's going to hit for 40 because of Virizion's water resistance. As you see, I did start Virizion. Again, incredible starter for this deck. Virizion is a very good card in my opinion. Both its Emerald Slash and Verdant Wind abilities are incredible. And here I'm going to play an Ends. I apologize for the End proxy, but I have several decks that I have to swap out cards for, so I just prefer to print out proxies for the staple cards that I don't have a bunch of, because Ends are actually kind of difficult to find nowadays. Not difficult, but they're not easy to come by. Noble Victories and Dark Explorers are not exactly sets you regularly buy, and unlike Professor Juniper, they were not reprinted in Plasma Blast. Of course, Juniper was, and so Juniper, much more plentiful. I have many more Professor Junipers than I do Ends, so I just kind of have to trade for those, which is not easy. I could always buy them, but I don't know. I'm not gonna need more than 8 Ends at any time, which I already have 8 Ends, so I don't really need them. I just, for convenience sake, it's a little, I don't know, it feels a little, I feel like a cheapo whenever I use proxies. I feel like I just why don't I just have these cards? I could just get all these cards if I wanted to. No, I'm just gonna be my cheapo self and put a piece of paper in there and call it a Pokemon card. Isn't that what Pokemon cards are in the first place? But anyway, back to the game. As you see, I've benched the Virizion and attached an energy to it because I know her Kyurem is just going to knock me out now. And I also played an Enhanced Hammer, discarded her Plasma Energy. Well, that I passed, by the way. And now she gets to the Colress machine. That might seem like a total waste because she would just be able to draw a Colress machine and attach another colored energy to knock me out. But honestly, I don't think that was a complete waste because now she has one less Colress machine at her disposal. She'll only have 2 or 3, or she'll only have 1 or 2 more of those now that I've done that. So she won't be able to power up Kyurem as quickly now, even if. I'm sure she has at least 1 more Colress machine. No Plasma deck really ever runs 2, especially Arielle. I know her deck is very consistent, never really draws poorly, or not. Yeah, it really doesn't. She's quite lucky a lot of the time with her draws, I must say. Not to be rude. I mean, I feel like that happens a lot with Plasma. You just I draw all this stuff on the first turn and knock out everything. This isn't lucky. It's just how Plasma works. That happens to me all the time. But then you play Drifblim and you're like, oh, this deck is bad. Not bad, but, not as good as I would like. Alright, back to playing. She's using an Ultra Ball here. Looks like she's debating getting a Kyurem. As you see, I have no Drifloons out on that first turn, which is sad. I don't like that. I want my Drifblims out so I can get Drifloons out so I can get Drifblims. I always get Drifloon and Drifblim mixed up. But she's just going to go for a Kyurem. She's just going to go for straight Kyurem because Kyurem is much better against Virizion and Genesect. But, of course, Thundurus is better against Drifblim. And as you see, I don't have a Drifblim out. So, that's not quite as good. But now she's going to put out a 4th Deoxys instead of using the Kyurem that she Ultra Balled for. So it might seem like a waste of her to do that, but it is a thinning out a card from her deck so she doesn't draw it later off of the top deck because she wants to draw supporters right now. Looks like here I'm just gonna play a Juniper. So she just used Frost Spear and put more damage on my Pokemans, more damage on my bench Virizion. The 30 on my bench Virizion is a pain because now her Blizzard Burn can knock it out and I'll just lose all my energy. So that wasn't a total waste of a turn. She can get a catcher and an energy. She can knock that out. We're going to play a switch to switch into Virizion. Of course, use Emerald Slash. That is a very old switch. I think that is sometime in the Ruby and Sapphire era. I don't know exactly when. I really couldn't tell you. It has Torchic on it, so I know it's not a E-Series card. And yep, I'm just going to use Emerald Slash, put the energy on Genesect. And let's see what Arielle has here. She's already taken her turn, trying to speed things up because we're under a 50-minute time limit. Tongue twister there. 50-minute time limit. But yeah, if she can draw a Silver Bangle and a Pokemon catcher to knock out my Genesect, which will not be very good for me. So my Genesect will be dead because then I'll be left with simply a Virizion out, and her Kyurem will still be able to use another attack, which is not good. So let's hope she doesn't draw that. Looks like she didn't get it. She has a Frozen City, and that's about it. And if she does not draw the catcher, I'll just simply be able to knock out her. Assuming I draw an energy, which is very likely. I run, I think, 13 energy in this deck right now. 10 grass and 3 plasma energy. So she'd get a basic water. I believe she runs 2 basic water, so she's very prepared for these plasma counter cards. And looks like she's just going to use Blizzard Burn to knock out my Virizion. That's not a bad move either. I believe it knocks her out. Knock out Virizion. Yes, it will. I believe that's 140 damage. And Virizion has water resistance, which will be just enough to be at 170 damage. But again, she will not have much of a response to deal with my Genesect. All she can do is power up either another Kyurem, a Thundurus, it'll just for Frost Spear or Braid Knuckle, or she can use Helix Force, which isn't really terrible, but it's not really spectacular either. It wastes 2 energy as well as a Chorus Machine, and she won't be able to power up any other attackers with that. So in her point of view, she probably wants a Thundurus next turn power up. The thing is, she doesn't really power up much else with that. She'll just power up another Deoxys, so which isn't a terrible thing at this point. And it looks like here on my turn, what am I gonna? See, I had an energy in my hand. I almost placed it down. See no reason not to use that grass energy. I don't want to use Red Signal. I want to knock out this Kyurem. No reason I would want to knock out anything else. Skyling, I'm probably gonna Skyla for either a supporter or a Ultra Ball to get a Drifloon out, so I can get Drifblim next turn and start disrupting her field. Let's see what I grab here. I don't know if I have a supporter or not. I believe I saw an Ultra Ball in my hand already. Or wait, is that what? It looks like I'm going for G Booster. Oh no, Juniper. It looked like G Booster was at the bottom of my deck, and I was gonna go for that. I was gonna say G Booster would have been a horrible option at this point. I don't run Chorus Machines, so I really have to be conservative with that G Booster, and using it there would have just been a terrible, terrible idea. No reason I would have ever wanted to get that. I would be able to knock out another EX, but I mean, I'd rather set up another Genesect or another Virizion on the bench. Just not a good move. It would not be a good move in my opinion to get the G Booster, but that's a mistake a lot of people make when playing the Genesect deck, is just go for G Booster, you attach it immediately as you draw it, and just knock out 3 EXs, which that will not happen if you just go Hail Mary with Genesect and G Booster. You will lose. You will simply lose. Just putting that out there. That will pretty much doom you, no matter what happens. No matter what situation you're in at the start of the game, that's going to lose you the game. Not always, but it probably will. Because if your opponent ever knocks out the Genesect, then you're just totally out of steam, and you'll never be able to power up something else, and you'll just knock out everything else you try to power up. Because they'll be attaching an energy to Genesect every turn. And yep, that's all I'm doing. I'll develop for Drifblim. I'm going to set up a Drifblim, and I'm just going to use Megalo Cannon, put 20 on a Deoxys. I knock out Virizion in 1 hit anyway, so or knock out Keldeo in one hit anyway, so I don't see a reason to put the 20 on there. And of course, her bench is for Deoxys, so you know, why not? Looks like someone wants to borrow some dice. I'm counting them, make sure they don't steal any. So yeah, now Arielle needs an attacker, obviously. Looks like she has a Thundurus and a Kyurem in her hand. Looks like she's going for the Kyurem route. She will need another Colress machine if she wants to power that up. But let's see if she has any left. I know she has. I think I saw 2 Plasmas to discard and two Colress machines to discard. Again, I don't know if she runs 3 or 4 Colress machine. I do see a Skyline in her hand, but I don't see it. No, I see a computer search. So she's probably going to Skylift for a Colress machine, attach that Silver Bangle, and just Frost Spear my Genesect for 100. Hit probably Drifblim for 30, I would say. Let's see, she hasn't played the Skylight yet. Let's see what she'll get with that. Again, or no, she might go with the computer search. She's probably gonna. If she's not, she's probably going for a Juniper with this, or she's going for a Colress machine with that and getting a supporter with Skylight or one or the other, just in case I play like Genesect or something. She's going for Colress machine with that. Or wait, no, I think she might be going with Colress machine is what she's going with. She's gonna get Plasma. Obviously, put that on Kyurem, and now she's probably going to Skylight for a supporter. I think if I was her, I would have just Skylit for the Colress machine, and then on the next turn I could computer search for a supporter. Oh wait, no. Oh no, that's not what she's doing. She's going for a catcher to bring out Drifloon and knock that out. Okay, here's a situation that could arise, or that did arise, which is not something I wanted. She's going to use Frost Spear. Will do just enough. Will do 70 and will knock out my Drifloon. And she'll also be able to set up a knockout with Blizzard Burn on the Genesect, which puts me in a bad position, honestly. I'll just do 100 to this Kyurem, and then I'll have to set up a Virizion as well. And yes, she's going to hit the Genesect, so I think is the better move in case she doesn't draw a, whatever the card is called. Doesn't draw a Silver Bangle, that's it. So I do have another Drifloon and a Juniper. Hopefully I'll get another Drifloon out, so no matter what happens, I'll be able to get Drifblim out and attacking next turn. Since I can't power up Drifloon, I probably want an Enhanced Hammer to knock out this, or to get rid of the energy. Yep, looks like what I did. I'm going to get rid of her Blend Energy, and now she can't use Blizzard Burn this next turn. That's one of the things I love about Enhanced Hammer against Kyurem. It's just so incredibly good, in my opinion. Just be able to get rid of an extra attachment. You know, Blizzard Burn is such a big margin different from Frost Spear. It's a whole total of 90 damage, so really, or technically 60 if you count the 30 to the bench, but anyway, just being able to stop that attack, it's basically like saying your opponent can't attack next turn. It's just, against Plasma, obviously. It's just incredible, or they can't use a certain attack, but yeah, it's incredible in any deck against Plasma. Obviously, stuff like Blastoise can't fit it, and Plasma probably would rather put consistency in its deck instead of techs like that for the mirror match, since consistency helps in every matchup. But Genesect and Darkrai definitely should put them in because they have plenty of space for that, and it's just an incredibly good card. It wins you the matchup a lot of the time. So she may go for a knockout on the Drifloon again, and that'll be annoying as well. And looks like there's a little cut there. I don't think anything happened though. Looks like yeah, Arielle just used the Colress. It's still on the top of her discard, and it's still it's nothing's happened. She hasn't attached energy. Probably just thinking about her move and the camera disconnected. Or it's just a clever ploy to cutting out Arielle shuffling her deck. But anyway, she looks like she has an energy, so she's gonna want a Frost Spear. Like, that's definitely what she's gonna do. But does she have a catcher to knock out the Drifloon? Let's see if she does. I think she announced her attack, and it's gonna be a no. And yeah, she can use Frost Spear. putting my Genesect at 130, I believe, and she can up at the 30 on something, either that Virizion with 90 damage on it, or is that 90? I don't know how much that is. And 30 on, or she could put on the Drifblim and knock out that at a later point. But obviously, nothing can stop her Kyurem from being knocked out. So, yes, looks like I have Drifblim out now. I keep saying the complete opposite one. Let's see what else I have on my turn. I'm going to want energy to put on the Genesect so I can use another one. Yep, have a Plasma. I'm not going to use Red Signal because I want to knock out the Kyurem. Always go for the energy over the prizes, or even EX Pokemon. That's another mistake players often make, is they just go for the most prizes possible, knock out EXs. But if the biggest threat gives up less prizes than something on the bench, go for the biggest threat. Then you'll be in a better position later on. So it looks like now she has a Thundurus, and that'll be enough to knock out my Genesect. And then she's just going to have to get one more knockout, probably on that Virizion on the bench. I believe it has 120 now. So Arielle looks like in a good position right now. She's going to use Raiden Knuckle, knock this out, set up a Deoxys, and then I'll need to take 4 more prizes to win the game. My prizes are probably going to be any EX, most likely this Thundurus, as well as the Keldeo. The Keldeo is the big one here that's easiest to knock out. But if I don't have an N paired with this, I could be in some trouble. Looks like all she has is an N. But even after N, she'll have 5 cards, the 3 from N, and then her 2 prizes. Or she could go, is that a Skyla? Yes, it is a Skyla. It seems like Arielle runs a lot of Skyla in her Plasma deck. It's either 2 or 3. I think 2 is a good number for Skyla. Oh, she's going for a catcher on Drifblim. That was another cut. I apologize for that one. Looks like just Genesect got knocked out. She took her prizes. And now no, she didn't use the catcher, and she knocked out the Genesect. I'm not exactly sure why that was cut there, but again, sorry about that. Or maybe time was called, and I think time must have been called here, and that's why we're discussing something. And now I'm going for... Oh, this is a fun thing that's going to happen. Looks like that Deoxys has 40 damage from Megalo Cannons piling up on it. I put 20 on it twice, so that's 40. And Derail will do 140, which is enough to knock out her Deoxys. And then I'll be able to knock out either an EX with G-Booster or just catcher the Keldeo, or attach a Plasma Energy to it. And she'll be down to 1 card, and if she can draw the catcher, yeah, I think this was time. This is turn 1, and that's why I did this. Otherwise, I think I would have gone for or maybe not for the Thundurus. I don't know. I think this was probably the better play. Just go for the win, give her less time to knock out the Virizion. I don't remember which one would. I don't know if discarding the energy would have been the better play, because now she would need 2 cards to do that. But since it's time, I need to go for 2 knockouts right now. Otherwise, she'll win. Currently, the rule right now when we were playing this match was whoever's ahead on prizes will win. But of course, now the rule has changed where if a game, no matter how many prizes are taken, the game is considered unresolved if neither player has actually won the game, and it will count as it didn't happen at all. So, of course, Arielle, all she needs is the catcher now to knock out that Virizion. And oh, no, what? Huh? What just happened? Oh, okay. Okay. I see what happened. I put G-Booster on the Thundurus, and then I catchered the Thundurus back out to knock out the Thundurus instead of the Deoxys, because I was scared of her drawing the catcher. She played the Juniper, so does she have the catcher? It looks like she didn't have the catcher at all, so that was just a total waste. But that's a little strange that I used 2 catchers in the same turn. One, I didn't think I'd draw the G-Booster off the N. If I did draw the G-Booster off the N, obviously that would have been better to just not use either catcher, and then I'd have 2 catchers to finish off that Deoxys. But I was so scared of her drawing that catcher, I thought this would be the safer play. This is probably a telltale sign that I have a catcher or Plasma Energy in my hand to knock out that Deoxys on the bench. I'm pretty sure this is turn 1 of time, or now it's turn 2, but I could be wrong, because usually I put out dice when it's in time. I put like turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3. and she's gonna play a Chorus, but she didn't get nothing, which means obviously it means she has no plasma energy left, so I don't have to deal with that anymore. She only has one attachment for the rest of the game each turn. Did I just take a die off of Deoxys to put it on the other Deoxys? Why would I do that? There's a Tool Scrapper in her hand. I'm assuming she's gonna play that. Yep, Tool Scrapper, Genesect, and now, well, I couldn't use G Booster anyway, but now she's probably gonna have to pass. She doesn't really have any way to do it, and all I need is a catcher to knock out the to knock out. Oh, it looks like she does have a plasma energy on there. I didn't see that. And looks like, yep, catcher up the Deoxys and knock it out with the Arielle. That is a good game. Good game, Arielle. Very exciting second game there. I was play was very interesting. Catching the Deoxys and then catching the Thundurus on the same turn. That was a little bit of a mistake on my part, but honestly, I was just playing the odds, and now that I got the odds were in my favor, I thought, I think it's better to go for this because all that she needs is the one catcher. I think she had like 2 or 3 catchers left, maybe one, but I think it was like 2 or 3. So I think that was probably the better play, especially if I already had a catcher in my hand. I think that was definitely the better play. But it was a little curious of me to play it before getting the end. I think I was just playing it safe, hoping that, because I didn't think I would draw that G booster off the end, and I needed that. If I had not played the G booster, if I had not drawn the G booster off the end, I would have wanted to play the catcher on the Deoxys anyway. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this battle game. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the future, which is hopefully very, very soon for more battle games. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Later.